Today on Real Pilates, we're going to talk about friction. We've talked about the spine and the discs, but let's talk about friction, bad friction. When you make a movement, let's say it's bending the elbow. The elbow joint has a design to it where there are little cushions. We'll call them bursa, or we could call it Larry because I love that name. Those bursa are designed for a range of motion of bending and extending. There is a spot where that joint stops, and let's just say it's here, although it's technically here. That arm is not designed to get straighter than that. When you create movements that are designed within a certain range that are good for that joint, we call that gliding. The joint is functioning. It's almost frictionless, although there's some rubbing. It's the designed rubbing. Bad friction occurs when the meeting of the bones of any given joint is not sitting exactly where it needs to, and then it creates a bad rubbing. The knee joint is a perfect example, that the knee joint is really a meeting of two bones. Forget the fibula, there's three there. But it's really two bones, the thigh bone and the shin bone, that meet. And there's a whole bunch of stuff holding those two joints together, those two bones together. When you don't move within that range, you start to create bad friction. So in class, when I say, here's my arm locked, you never want to do movement exercise-wise like that. You want to have it straight with a soft bend. And if you're not sure, I always say bend more. Why? Because I don't want you to strain the joint. We're going to talk about passive stretching and how really it makes bad friction and it's bad for the joint. If you're doing a movement, let's say you're turning your head. You feel your head turning, you feel it gliding. There's no pinching, sharp pain. If you feel pinching, sharp pain, you know that it's bad friction. If you start to walk and your knee really starts to hurt with every step, that is the signal that your body is giving you the pain, that there is friction that is bad. It can be because the bones are not moving in the right gliding. It can be because there has effectuated an inflammation of that joint from a bad movement or a series of movement, and now it's not gliding like it should, and the inflammation is giving you bad friction. Bad friction over time and left unchecked can wear that joint and wear out the surfaces of the bones. It can also damage the bursa or whatever is in that joint that helps the bones glide. It can lead to all kinds of issues. So it's important to always, when you exercise, there's bad pain, that knee pain, that pinching in the back, that stabbing side pain, that pinching shoulder pain, wrist pain, elbow pain, neck pain, all of that pain that you know, you need to not continue moving when you feel that pain. So if you feel a bad pain, let's just say in your arm, reduce the range of motion. Maybe it's that the shoulder is up or it's pinching in a wrong position. Stop. If you're kneeling and you feel pain, you need to put a better cushion under the knee. If you've cushioned it and you still feel pain, for today, you should not be kneeling. So don't do the kneeling part, do something else. Stand, or I usually give you an option to change. But I'm not just talking about Pilates. I'm talking about, I know that you want to get that cardio to burn off the bad food you've eaten. So if you're doing something and your knees are hurting you, you need to stop, slow down, do less range, do less, rest. If you're not sure, always elevate and ice if you feel you have inflammation, but it's always best to go to the doctor and have them check if it becomes chronic. Chronic is 3 days, 5 days, it's not getting better, then that means it's getting worse. That's when you need to schedule a visit for the doctor. Friction is something that happens every time that your muscle contracts and then uncontracts. And muscular friction, if it's done in the right speed, in the right range, is good. If you work and do a high number of repetitions and you start to create so much friction that you tear some of the muscle fibers, oh, I'm so sore. A little bit of soreness is good. But if you're so sore to the point that you can barely move, you've torn so much that that muscle fiber, when it heals, and it will come back thicker. And that is the bulking up effect that lifting heavy weights will give you. Remember, in Pilates, we're leveraging springs. I don't have my springs here. And those springs are very reduced in their weight. The heavy thing that you're leveraging in Pilates is your body weight against you. And so your bones are designed to hold up your body weight. So it's just the perfect amount of tension. If you're using a spring or even just the ball or the towel in the mat, I don't know how much pressure you're putting when I tell you to pull the towel at level 10 or half level 5. But whatever pressure it is, whether it's your 5 or 10, it's the perfect pressure for you against you. I don't know if I should tell you to pick up a 2-pound or a 50-pound weight, but if it's you against you, it's going to be a balanced ratio. Whether we attach a prop like a ball, a spring, or a piece of equipment, it's still the premise of Pilates is your body leveraging your body to strengthen your body in the perfect modality. So all friction is not the same. There's good friction and there's bad friction. And since that's your body, I'm going to want you to learn the difference and avoid that bad friction because it does not lead to any good results. No pain, no gain is a bunch of crap. And I don't want you to use that in your exercise or your love life or your emotional life because life should not be pain. This is Pilates Master Nikki, and I'll see you real soon for another layer of real Pilates.